With the increase of gender-based violence cases in the country, a coalition of civil society organizations have called for a state of emergency against this heinous crime. I'm currently at the headquarters for the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in person to speak with the Director General, Dame Julie Okah, to see what response her organization has against these crimes.
What role is NAPTIP playing in the fight against gender-based violence in Nigeria as it is becoming or has become a state of emergency?
Thank you very much. First of all, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015 is domiciled in NAPTIP, and that means that NAPTIP has the powers to arrest and prosecute offenders of all forms of violence, which includes rape. Here in the FCT alone, because other states are meant to domesticate the act. And this simply tells you that every case that comes that reported to NAPTIP, we investigate, we arrest, and we prosecute. So far, we've had 7 convictions. We have quite a number of cases in the courts, and we've made so many arrests, especially towards this lockdown period. The figures kind of tripled, and so that's it. And we have shelters attached to this office, so that whenever we have victims of violence, we take them to the shelter where they are given psychosocial support by trained counselors who are staff of NAPTIP. We have trained nurses also working there. We give them some medical support as well. And then, of course, we empower them when we can. For anyone to rape any girl, boy, or child, he has to be mental. He must have a mental problem, we know there are some men who are just sex addicts. They take it a little bit too far. Some of them are just they are just sick in the head. They have all sorts of fantasies. I know that some cultural beliefs where people think that raping a little baby or a virgin would cure them of diseases like HIV, AIDS, and things like that, and all forms of sexual diseases. So there are so many factors, but whatever the case may be, that is not an excuse to rape anyone, whether a baby, a child, or whatever. When a case is reported, the perpetrator is arrested, the victim is rescued and taken to the shelter whilst investigations are going on. We don't keep suspects here for longer than necessary, and of course they are bailed. They keep reporting until we file the cases in court, and then of course the court takes over. If we are lucky to get a conviction, the name goes into the Sexual Offenders Register, where convicted persons appear, and it is open to the public.
What is the gravity of having your name in the Sex Offenders Register?
Name and shame. Nobody wants to be named and shamed. If you know of any crime of rape anywhere, please report immediately. It's a crime against the state. It's not a crime against you or your family. So you cannot settle cases of rape on your own.
Rape or any form of violence, that I will arrest you and I will prosecute you. There is no justification for rape or any form of violence. If a man is walking naked on the streets, the women do not rape him. They look the other way and call him a madman. So if a woman is walking naked on the streets, please look the other way and call her a mad woman and seek for help for her. It is not in your place to rape a woman just because you think she's not well dressed. It is not in your place to do that. It is a crime.
Unfortunately, the majority of these cases go unreported as a result of social stigmatization and the victim being blamed. This result is an increased number of sexual abusers and repeated offenders. The new database aims to name and shame these offenders and help curb the spread of this menace in